Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, according to where you are in the world right now. Thank you so much for joining us on this event this evening. And thank you for taking an interest in the rise of the indies, where indies obviously stands for independent businesses. My name is Marco Mongelo. I serve as Pro Vice Chancellor at the University of Law. My remit is particularly focused on the business school, and I will host the event tonight. But of course, the most important part of the event is definitely not listening to me, but to our guests. We have three guests, and thank you, guests, for being with us tonight. The first one will be Christian, and we're going to talk with him very, very shortly. What is common to the three guests is that they're willing to share with us their experience, which is rewarding, uplifting, energizing, positive experience of having raised from a difficult situation, particularly caused by the pandemic, and having turned this into something positive, something valuable. So a huge learning for all of us, for those who suffered through the pandemic, maybe losing their jobs or finding their job much more difficult, and the big lesson, important lesson for those who didn't suffer too much. And it puts in perspective, if all the damage some of us had was, being stuck at home, but still keep doing the job, keeping the the wheels the spinning. Put in perspective of how difficult it's been for others, and how clever and really inspiring others have been. So, with no further ado, Christian will talk to us about how during the lockdown and having been made redundant, Christian starting a completely new career, and he combined his knowledge and expertise in art with his previous experience at work, and he started a new business, which really I would like him to talk about rather than me. So, Christian, over to you.
Hello, hi, Michael. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on the panel. So my name is Christian Azolan, and I'm a visual artist. And what I do is I've created a fine art business. I use art as a way to basically make money. And the medium that I use for art is I use digital art, I do photography, I do painting, and I do mixed media. So I think it helps that I give you a bit of background and a bit of context as to what I was doing before I started my business and what the situation was with COVID and in terms of my family. So in 2019, I was working for Informa as a global brand and content marketing manager, a very good job in the city. I had a great flat in South London. It was a really nice penthouse flat. I was living there with my fiance. And then suddenly I got a call from my mum, and she told me that she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that made me reevaluate a lot of things. And I decided to move back home and live with her for a while she was going through this, as well as commuting from my home in South London to her where she was in West London. And it sounds strange to think that moving back home is quite normal, and a lot of people do it regardless, and especially if you're helping out a family member. But in terms of the context, I left home when I was 16. I put myself through college, through university, and it's quite well known, if you're from Seychelles, which is where I'm from, that when you're 16 years old, you kind of go out and you become independent and you live by yourself. And you start living your life, basically. And it's kind of accustomed to people who live far from Seychelles to do that. We're from a very small island, so moving and going out and doing your own thing is very easy. So, but moving back with her was very difficult because, yes, we were close, and yes, we had a relationship, but having left home at the age of 16 to now going back and live with her, especially through this illness that she was going through, was really quite tough. So I decided to move back home, moving with her. I got a job closer to her so I could work and care for her while she was having her treatment. I got a job as a digital media lecturer at Brunel University. I was teaching brand management, creativity, design. And then I was doing that for a year. And as her treatment started getting more aggressive and it became quite difficult, we decided to completely get rid of our flat in South London. I moved in completely. My fiance and myself moved in full time with my mum. So we gave up our flat. And then in March 2020, obviously the pandemic hit, and it hit everybody in completely different ways. And I was a contractor at the university, and I got made redundant because I was just a contractor. So they got rid of all contractors and just kept all permanent staff. And so when that ended, it was really tough because I didn't get a payout. I didn't get redundancy. I couldn't apply for the furlough scheme because I was a contractor. So I used the lockdown to really clear my thoughts and really think about my next steps and think about not only what job I was going to do next, but what I want my rest of my life to be. And that's very different to just going out and getting another job. I was really thinking, and I sat down throughout lockdown and I really thought about what really makes me happy. And I went to art school, so I knew how to be creative. I enjoyed painting and drawing. I like doing. So the December before that, my partner got me an Apple Pencil, which I literally was like, thank you for my iPad. I put it in a forgot about it. I never even used it. And then during lockdown, I took the pencil out and I started experimenting using my iPad and drawing, and I started putting some of the pictures online. And I started sharing them on social media. I got quite a few likes. And a good friend of mine called Gemma rang me out of the blue. And she says, artworks online. She goes, you need to do this as a business, because they're so good. You need to do this as a business, and I'll commission your first piece. So I thought, oh, okay, fine. And I was still umming and ahhing in terms of whether I really do this as a business. And I was really thinking about why I should start this business. So I came across a book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And he does a TED Talk on the same subject. So read the book, just watch the TED Talk. And he touches on why you should start a business and why it makes sense to start a business for yourself, but not really sharing like what you do and what you're going to do, but really making sure you understand why you're starting this. Why do you believe in this, and why should people care? So it got me really thinking about not just starting an art business, but really thinking about what I'm going to bring to this art business. So after reading that book, I decided that I wanted to be self-employed and I wanted to start my own business. But the thing is, since the age of 16, when I got a job, I'd always worked for somebody. I'd never, ever worked for myself. So at that point as well, I was deciding to start my business. I was getting a lot of freelance and contract work offers that were coming in. And I just thought, you know what, I've got savings. I'm going to turn down all the contract work that I'm so used to doing and all the freelance work that I was getting. And I'm just concentrate on my business. So as I was putting stuff online, Saatchi Art, source of my artworks, and asked me to pull together a small series and upload it to their website on their online shop. So I did this, and this sold really well. And then that's when really that kind of like the business started. I created a series called Matters of the Heart, which is about emotions of the human heart. And this really gave me a focus because they wanted a series, not just one art piece. And I had to create this and have a business set up. So I started researching fine art printers, suppliers, drop shippers, companies, looking at postage, looking at UK international postage, set up my own social media account, started building a website on Shopify, and making sure that everything was working and it functioned online. From then on, I wrote out a business plan. I looked at my finances, and the numbers are really, really important. The margins and the profit percentages all needed to be worked out. And if you ever watch Dragon's Den and you see dragons getting upset with people who don't know their numbers, my partner is an ops manager for Just Eat UK, and he helped me crunch some of the numbers. And one thing advice he said to me, if you don't have your numbers, they're not sorted, you really don't have a business, regardless of whatever it is you're making and how amazing it is. If the numbers aren't there, you don't have a business. So I tried to put myself in the best possible situation to make the business work. So I had savings to last me around 3 years. So if literally I started the business and I made no money, I would have enough money to run the business for 3 years without selling anything. So I read and looked up at every single free business resource online, from the government website to free resources like from Enterprise Nation. The stuff at Saatchi Art was going really well. And then I reached out to Wayfair in the UK and in Germany, and I secured a deal with them. That took about 7 months from start to finish to really speak to them and then initially have my stuff onto the website. And so then I literally had to learn a whole other side of my business, which was having to trade prices, understanding their distribution model and postage and international delivery. I also sell my artworks through Amazon Handmade, which I got somebody to help me set up the Amazon shop after doing the course myself. I sell through Simply Noir, Curated Crowd, Rare River, and I've just been accepted to go on Not on the High Street. I also sell in retail. And all my prints I sell limited edition fine art prints, and are printed on giclée paper. I work very closely with printers in the UK, and I had an option to work with printers abroad, but I chose not to because I really believe in staying local and, you know, championing other businesses that are near me and that are in London. So I sell my, so that made me feel confident in terms of knowing where they are, knowing who's printing my work. And it's also part of my brand values as well. So I really believe in supporting talent as well. So then I believe that securing the big deals at the very beginning gave me an opportunity to really push my business. And, you know, with the high street was failing at the time, you know, the idea of really thinking about going on the high street was just not an option. All my art is printed on demand, which means I don't have stock. So I don't have to waste money on a warehouse or anything like that. So when a customer orders a print from me, the order goes straight to the printers. It's then printed and in the right size and the right paper in the right format, and it's shipped anywhere around the world. And because I ship worldwide, I've had customers from USA, Canada, Germany, France, South Africa, Australia. And my business is probably turning over about between 4,000 to 5,000 per month. 70% of that is pure profit. I do that for prints, and I do private commissions for a lot of customers and customizations. And it's enough for me to live on at the moment. It's great that so many people are spending a lot of money doing up their homes, which they've done. But then after lockdowns kind of lifted, I started pushing online and trying to make that work for me. And I've tried to make my business as pure and streamlined as possible and as fully digital as possible. Really helped. And I've worked hard on the PR side of things as well. I've appeared in pretty much every major newspaper publication in the UK. I've been in the Times, the Independent, Daily Mail, Reuters International, HuffPost, Metro, Evening Standard. And I don't just say that to kind of brag. I say that because I had a plan in terms of writing a list down of who people I wanted to approach, what publications I wanted to be in, and having an actual strategy behind it. I've also focused on art publications like Artist Talk Magazine, House and Garden, Artlet, and a couple of international titles. And my plan over the next 1 to 2 years is to finally do my MA in fine art. And on the retail side of things, add more international distribution. So I'm just received my first gallery representation 2 weeks ago from a gallery in Windsor called Ice Gallery. And I'm starting my MA in fine art in September at Central St. Martin's. So I'm now working on a major art series. And I would say over the last year to 12 to 18 months, I guess it's been full of ups and downs. And I'm just really happy that I'm running my business and learning how to run my business day to day. So thank you all for listening. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the talks this evening.
Christian, thank you so much for your presentation, and as I said earlier, highly inspiring, and definitely you made it even more inspiring than anyone would have envisaged or expected. So thank you for that. What an amazing blend of personal emotions, and yeah, you went really down with that, and you know how you put yourself. You put yourself out there again and again. And, what I took for this is, yeah, obviously very close to me. I'm an accountant, so you know the numbers are important. Yes, definitely. You do that budget, do that cash flow estimate, definitely. But you talk about strategy as well, and you talk about having an idea of what comes after. At the same time as talking, putting yourself again to learn. You're about to start an MA now. Isn't that great? It's all about continuous learning. So stay with us, Christian. There will be a Q&A later. One question I'm sure we can, and if it doesn't, I will ask. It's about, you know, what are the threats that you see to your business coming up, you know, now and in the near future? If art is now sold also, not completely, it's not replacing, but also as how do they call them? Art, you know, screenshots essentially which have a token that make them unique.
Yeah,
and they can go for
the NFT artworks. Yeah,
that's the thing. And potentially, is that a threat? Don't answer now, but maybe it's a question that will come later.
absolutely.
Thank you very much again, Christine.
No problem.